Hey guys, I'm Game Advisor and welcome back to another Icarus update video. Today we're going to be covering the week 27 update, Scorpion World Boss. Not Scorpion Boss or World Boss, but Scorpion World Boss. I know the names sound familiar to other updates, but this is a different one. The first major thing they've added is they've added in the old Scorpion World Boss into the Styx map. It will also now travel around the map, so it will be considered a roaming world boss as well now, just like the Sandworm was. However, it is not restricted only to the desert biomes. You can actually go to the snow biomes as well. So you just have to be aware that it can be found in a lot of different places. We personally have not run into it in the forest biome yet, but just know that we don't know every single spawn yet. We just know that it can spawn in the snow and desert biomes inside the Styx map. It could also spawn on the old map, but again, I'm not sure. We have not had a chance to test that yet, so feel free to let us know down in the comments. For all intensive purposes though, this is essentially the exact same world boss we had from before, just now it's on the Styx map. It does come with its own new mission and armor set though. The armor set will be obtained through doing the new mission, which is called Husk Extermination. It is on the Styx map, so this means that if you're playing in the game and say you buy the game once the Styx map is no longer free, you won't be able to get the Scorpion armor unless you buy that DLC. I'm assuming this is how all the DLCs are going to end up being. There's going to be some things locked behind having that DLC, but we'll just have to see what happens over time. Now, what does the armor actually do? Well, the new Scorpion armor is pretty straightforward. It basically just acts as a reflection of damage like thorns, or some games call it damage reflect. Basically, any amount of damage you take, it can reflect up to, I believe, 39% with the full set back at the attacker roughly of what it did to you. It's good, it's not good, it's hard to debate, to be honest. It does give a little bit of extra physical resistance compared to some of the exotic armor, so that's a plus. But at the end of the day, it's really not that amazing. I will say that it also does attract predators to you, and it does make enemies spook sooner, because the armor makes you a perceived threat rather than reducing perceived threat. It does also give some other bonuses and resistances, but I'll let you figure those out on your own, or you can just look at them here on screen. And again, to unlock this armor, you're going to have to do the new Husk Extermination mission on Styx in order to get it. And it can only be crafted from the world boss item drops. This works the same way the Sandworm boss does. Drops a bunch of pieces of things every time you damage it, and boom, there you go. Now you use those pieces in a textiles bench to craft its armor. Now, as far as the changelog goes, there's really not a whole ton here, but there is a few things I want to cover. The first one is that poison damage and fire damage will no longer trigger the Scorpion World Boss or the Sandworm World Boss to drop their actual little item. People were cheesing it by basically hitting it with a poison arrow, and you get these massive stacks of little parts from it, and then just run away and then come back and get the items you need to craft the armor. Can't do that anymore. Now, it's every time it gets hit by a projectile or takes melee damage. Poison and flames will not work. They'll still do damage to them, they just won't drop the items anymore. They did also add an audio cue for the Kia stealing food from your campfire. They also added an idle silly move flap side to side audio cue. I don't really know what these are, to be honest. I didn't hear them in game myself, but hey, didn't know that Kias could steal food from your campfire. Apparently that's a thing. So just keep that in mind. If you see a Kia near your campfire, it might be stealing some food. I do want to also mention that the wooden hedgehogs do have a new picture for them in your inventory. So if you've crafted those a lot, you might be like, what are these things? They're the same thing as they were before. Just now they're actually got a little bit of a different icon for them, but they still do the same thing, operate the same. They just have a different icon, and that's it. Personally, when it comes to this update, I don't think this was really that big of an update. I think it's cool that the Scorpion boss is now roam. I will say the name is a little funny, but hey, once you've done 27 updates, the names are going to get a little bit familiar. Like I said, there's a Scorpion boss one and a world boss update, so now they have a Scorpion world boss update, and I think that's just because they needed to name it something, so that's whatever. I will say that the new armor set does give some projectile resistance, and I'm not really sure what the point of that is, so we'll have to see in the future. Maybe they're going to add some projectile based enemies aside from cave worms, because I don't think you actually take a lot of damage from the cave worm spit. You take the damage from the poison that it puts on you. Again, if somebody else knows there's a projectile thing that it does, we tested it from player to player. It didn't really do anything, but hey, it's in the game, something to keep track of. With all that being said, I think it's a good update. I just really wish they would add more things in, and the way they described it in this update made it sound like this was a cool new version of the Scorpion World Boss, but really it's just the exact same Scorpion World Boss, just now it's on Styx and it can roam and be in different biomes. So I don't know why they described it the way they did, but they did, but I would just say going forward, maybe just clarifying that the Scorpion World Boss you're talking about is the same Scorpion World Boss we've already got in the game. I would love to see some variants of it, maybe like one that could do fire damage or something, or had a new move, or maybe even one that just has more health or armor or damage or something like that, or movement speed. I think that would be really cool, especially since the Styx map seems to already be one of those maps that kind of has that whole concept of, hey, you know, this is the harder version of the game at this point for most players. When you get here, you probably got good gear. So I would love to see them actually increase the difficulty, even though I think the Scorpion boss is already pretty good. I would just like to see maybe some modifications other than just putting the game on hard mode, which I know is an option. That being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Icarus. I hope you guys are too. And if you want to see more Icarus and other survival game content, consider subscribing to our channel. We put out new videos every single week for Icarus because we know you guys want to see this stuff. We try to cover all the new missions. We'll be putting one out for one of these missions that just came out here soon. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'm Game Advisor, and I'll see you next time.